أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، سجاد کہہ کے گر پڑا چھوٹی سی قبر پر. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، سجاد کہہ کے گر پڑا چھوٹی سی قبر پر. مظلوم ایسے گر پڑا، مظلوم ایسے گر پڑا تربت پہ بہن کی، جیسے حسین تھا گرا اکبر کی لاش پر. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، سجاد کہہ کے گر پڑا چھوٹی سی قبر پر. دیکھو نہیں رہی میرے ہاتھوں میں اب رسن، جانے لگا ہے قافلہ اب لوٹ کر وطن. لیکن تو بہن شام میں، لیکن تو بہن شام میں قیدی ہی رہ گئی، کھا کر تماچے سو گئی زنداں کی خاک پر. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، اماں کی طرح تجھ کو نہ مل پائی تھی ردا، بابا کی طرح تجھ کو کفن بھی نہ مل سکا. پتھر بھی کھائے شام میں، پتھر بھی کھائے شام میں، تو نے میری طرح ناکے سے گر کے ہو گئی تیری بھی غم کمر. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، میں لے کے تجھ کو شام سے واپس نہ جا سکا. بابا کو کیا بتاؤں میں اب جا کے کربلا، کرتے میں دفن کر کے، کرتے میں دفن کر کے بنائی تیری لحد، عابد کو خون رلائے گا یہ درد عمر بھر. زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، کرتا ہوں یاد رو کے میں منظر وہ درد کا، کانوں کے زخم پر جو تماچا تجھے لگا، بابا کو تو سینہ پہ، بابا کو تو سینہ پہ صدا دیتی رہ گئی، بابا سینہ پہ روتے تھے تب تجھ کو دیکھ کر، زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، وہ رخصت حسین پہ زینب کا امتحان، ایسا ہی آج پھر سے ہے زندان کا سما، سجاد ہو رہا ہے، سجاد ہو رہا ہے، جدا ایسے بہن سے، اٹھتا ہے رو کے قبر سے، گرتا ہے قبر پر، زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، سجاد کہہ کے گر پڑا چھوٹی سی قبر پر، زندان کھل گیا ہے سکینہ وطن چلو، پر محمد انوال محمد صلوات الفاتحہ۔
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ۔ اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، الحمد للہ رب العالمین، بارئ الخلائق اجمعین، باعث الانبیاء والمرسلین، ثم الصلاة والسلام علی اشرف الانبیاء والمرسلین، خاتم النبیین، شفیع المذنبین، رحمتا للعالمین، مولانا و سیدنا ابی القاسم محمد اللہم صلی وعلی آلہ الطیبین الطاہرین، لا سیما بقیت اللہ فی الارض، مولانا حجت ابن الحسن عجل اللہ تعالی فرجہ الشریف، اللہم صلی علی محمد، ولعنت اللہ علی اعدائہم اجمعین من الآن الى قیام یوم الدین، اما بعد فقد قال اللہ سبحانہ وتعالی فی قرآنہ المجید، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضُ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ ذُو فَضْلٍ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ، صدق اللہ العلی العظیم، بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات، اللہم صلی اللہ۔ Respected scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, mu'mineen and mu'minat, these lectures are titled Yearning for Imam Zaman. We have structured them in order to remember Imam Zaman, feel attachment to him, and hopefully that we please him in some way by remembering him and by celebrating his wilaya and the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt. This is a fundamental part of these lectures. We discussed the concept of istirar. We discussed what it means. We discussed its different dimensions. Then we came on to the discussion around the life of the Imam, that the primary characteristic which I want you to bear in mind is that the Imam is alive, very much immediate and in a very much real sense Imam is alive. And we presented a few proofs for that. And today inshallah we'll conclude that discussion, and then tomorrow we will answer a new question. The new question is this: what is the difference between Imam Ghaib and Imam Hadir? What is the difference between Imam being behind the curtain of occultation as opposed to Imam coming out of occultation and into the open and declaring himself to the world? What is the difference? And we'll approach that from a very special angle, which is also one of the characteristics of Imam Zaman, and that is that he is the manifestation of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what that means. But that is inshallah for tomorrow. Regarding today's discussion, we have one more proof which I wanted to discuss regarding why Imam must be alive. Why is it not acceptable for us to say that no, it's okay, in the future he'll come, therefore in the future he can be born? It doesn't matter if he's alive right now or not. We have nullified that concept from a number of angles. Today, one more, with the barakat of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There is a chapter in the Quran which the fifth Imam has said that use this chapter to prove and to confirm our wilayah. When those who don't believe in the wilayat of Ahlul Bayt discuss with you, then use this chapter to debate with them and discuss with them. And that is which chapter? Surah Inna Anzalnahu Fi Laylatil Qadr. Imam Baqir alayhi salam tells us that use this surah to prove and to confirm to those who don't believe in our wilayah that yes, wilayat is a reality and it has to be there. How? First of all, look at the words being used. Tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruh. Tanazzalu is a present tense verb. What it means is angels descend. Not that they once upon a time descended, not that their descent has stopped. It is saying to us that every year this phenomenon takes place, this Laylatul Qadr takes place, hence every Ramadan the whole Muslim world gets together, we do our amal, whether you're Sunni or Shia, it doesn't matter. Yes, we have slight difference of opinion on which date may be the strongest one, but nevertheless every Muslim believes that the Laylatul Qadr takes place and we do our amal, we do our things, we pray our du'as, etc. Why? Because this is an ongoing phenomenon. Angels descend. So if angels descend, then the question is, where do they descend? Angels are metaphysical, they're non-physical, they're beyond the physical realm. It doesn't make sense when you say angels come down, okay, they descend. It doesn't make sense to think of it in a physical realm with 3 dimensions, for example. It doesn't make sense to say, okay, they come and they walk on the earth. They're metaphysical. Aslan, they don't need earth to walk on. Or we say, for example, they come down and they settle in trees. That doesn't make sense because they don't need trees. Trees are physical, these are metaphysical. So where do they descend? Well, they have to descend on something which is of the same substance as them. The thing in this world which is the same substance as them, which is also metaphysical, is the ruh of a human being. Okay. So they come to the ruh of a human being. Which human being? Which human being is pure enough, tahir enough, pak enough, that it can actually receive the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is it mine and yours? Is it someone else's? Whose ruh is there in this time that can stand as, for example, the successor ruh, successor soul to the soul of the Holy Prophet? Who is there? There must be someone. So we say, therefore, there must be in all times an insane kamil, one insane kamil. There must always be a proof of God upon this earth. The perfect human being, the sinless, pure, hearted soul of a perfect human being must be present on the earth for the angels to descend upon. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Where every year do they descend? They are metaphysical creatures. Rasulullah himself has said, Bal hiya ila yawmil qiyamah. This phenomenon of the angels coming down on Laylatul Qadr, he says, this will continue until the Day of Judgment. Don't think that it was a one-off event. That only one Laylatul Qadr there was, and that it is finished and that's it. No. He says in another hadith that this will continue in Ali alayhi salam and the offspring of Ali alayhi salam. This will continue. So every generation of A'immah, every Imam, year after year on Laylatul Qadr receives the angels, tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruh. Someone comes to Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, and says to him, Mawla, do you, because there's no clear, definite opinion on which night is the Laylatul Qadr, right? We do 3 nights. It's one of these 3. He says, Mawla, do you know? Okay, maybe you don't tell us, but do you yourself know when Laylatul Qadr is? Imam Baqir alayhi salam replies, how can we not know when on that night the angels are circling around us? They're all around us, they're surrounding us. We are their locus, we are their core, we are their central point where they come to. How can we not know? So this was the Quranic proof to bring us to the end of this discussion of why Imam must be alive. Inshallah, by now, with these 4-5 proofs which we have presented, inshallah you have the belief, the iman, the strength, that if anyone was to challenge you right now, that why do you believe that Imam must be alive? Imam can come at a later stage. You say, look, he's not like a president of the world. He is the link between creator and creation. He is the Babullah, the door of Allah. Quran says so. The names of Allah we can prove from that. We can prove it from the intellectual proof and the other proofs that we have given, inshallah. Now, once this belief comes into the heart, once this belief sits in your heart, once it has become part of your iman, inshallah, there are a number of implications which come. Now let's look at those implications one by one. The first is, once you truly and utterly believe, you take information and you transfer that information, because what we are giving here is information, data. Hopefully it doesn't just remain as information. You take this information, you download, you understand it properly, and then you make it flow onto your heart. Then your heart should be crying out, Imam Zaman, Imam Zaman, Imam Zaman. Every beat of yours should cry out, Imam Zaman. Once you transfer it into your heart, then it has a number of implications. The first implication is this. I have listed 3. There are probably more. Inshallah, you can share with me later your own ideas. The first implication is this. It is a great source of encouragement and support for the mu'mineen. Imam is there. Anything which happens, Imam is there. Any problem which arises, Imam is there. Someone comes to Amirul Mu'mineen. He says, oh Imam, why do you impose on yourself such difficulties? Amirul Mu'mineen, if I were to tell you about the difficulties of the life of Amirul Mu'mineen, you would cry. Believe me, you would cry. If we were to express the life which Amirul Mu'mineen had, you would weep. Amirul Mu'mineen, in one of his khutbahs, he says, I feel so shy of the patcher. Because why? Amirul Mu'mineen's clothes, he wouldn't buy new clothes. He would take his old clothes which had been torn, for example, over time, and he would go and get them patched up. He said, I now feel shy of the patcher, because he will say to me now, Amirul Mu'mineen, there is no more room for me to patch. I have put so much patches in your clothes, now where do I patch now? So someone asked him, why do you impose on yourself such restrictions, so many hardships, if you like, if you want to put it in those terms? Why do you put on yourself so many hardships and difficulties? He says, I don't want anyone of my ummah to ever say that their Mawla and their Imam led a better life than they did. I want them to feel this tandak, this coolness. I want them to feel that my Mawla, the great Amirul Mu'mineen, we are not even the khake pa of Amirul, we are not even the dirt on the feet of Amirul Mu'mineen. My great Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen led a life worse than me. So this is a source of encouragement and support, that your Imam is there with you. Whatever you're going through, he's going through it. Whatever you're feeling, he's feeling it. Whatever sorrows you have, he's feeling for you. He's there to support you. He's praying for you. Imam Ali alayhi salam had a companion called Rumayla. I think we mentioned this in one of the previous lectures. Let me just repeat it again very quickly. Rumayla was struck with fever. A number of days he was in his home recovering. On the day of Jummah, on the day of Friday, he says to himself, I want to go and hear the khutbahs of Amirul Mu'mineen. He was feeling a bit better. He goes. During the khutbahs, all of a sudden, the fever returned. And he started feeling very uneasy. Afterwards, Amirul Mu'mineen says, what happened to you? He says, Mawla, my fever returned, but how did you know? And these are the words of Amirul Mu'mineen. Ya Rumayla, O Rumayla, let me tell you something. Laysa min mu'minin, there is no believer. There is no believer. Yamradu ila maridna li maradhihi. There is no believer who suffers an illness except we become ill due to his illness. He doesn't feel an illness except that we feel it with him. Wala yahzanu illa, and he doesn't feel any grief except that we grieve with him. Azizan, your Imam is grieving with you. Your Imam feels for you. He's there for you. Wala yad'u illa ammanna. No mu'min raises his hands in dua except when he recites his dua, we say Ameen. We tell Allah, Allah, Khudaya, answer his prayer. We are supplicating with him. We are supporting his dua. Wala yaskutu illa da'awna lah. And no mu'min chooses to remain silent. Silence is a virtue, by the way, in Islam. There is no mu'min who chooses to remain silent except that during his silence we pray for him. This is the words of Amirul Mu'mineen. How beautiful that is, that this Imam, our living Imam, Daste Rahmat-e Khuda, the hand of mercy of Allah, which we're going to discuss tomorrow more. This hand of mercy of Allah is with us. He supports us. He's there with us. Don't believe anything you do is without the observation of Imam Zaman. Don't believe any grief and hum and gham which comes to you is without the observation of Imam Zaman. He's with you. Imam Zaman himself says, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He himself says, فَإِنَّا نُحِيتُ عِلْمًا بِأَنْبَائِكُمْ. We have encompassing knowledge of your news. We know what's happening to you. Don't think you're without any supporter. وَلَا يَعْزُبُ عَنَّا شَيْءٌ مِّنْ أَخْبَارِكُمْ. Whatever is happening to you, nothing is hidden from us. We receive all the news. We know what's going on. We know what you're going through. We know your griefs and your happinesses. Inna ghayru muhmalina limura'atikum. We have not done any shortcomings in looking after you. Khudaya, Khudaya. What Ahlul Bayt you have given us, Khudaya. What A'imma alayhimus salam you have given us. He says we have not done any shortcomings. We have not done any kutahi in looking after you. We've been looking after you. Wala nasina li dhikrikum. And we don't forget you. We remember you. Khudaya, our Imam remembers us. We think we remember the Imam. Imam remembers us. Walawla dhalika. If it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for us looking after you, then what would have happened? Difficulties and calamities would have descended upon you, and enemies would have destroyed you. If it wasn't for us, our protective shade, our protective du'as, our protective looking after you, what would have happened to you? You think you're successful just like that? You think, for example, you're on your own 2 feet? This is just an illusion. Imam's daste Mubarak is with us. Imam's hidden hand is with us. Question arises. the question is this, maybe it's in your minds as well. Okay, you're saying that Imam is with us, Imam helps us, Imam's hidden hand is always upon us. Then why are there difficulties and issues? Why are there calamities? Let's explain this with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The answer is that it doesn't mean that there will be absolutely no calamity and no difficulty. This world at the end of the day is a world of test. Calamities is part of it. Tests are part of it. It doesn't mean that there will be no calamities and no tests. What it means is, I will make sure that whatever calamities and tests come, the essence of the mu'mineen and the essence of Islam will be protected. The essence. I will not allow this religion to go. I will not allow the enemies to do things to remove this religion from the earth and remove mu'mineen in totality. Yes, at times you will go through tests, at times you will go through difficulties, at times there will be war and famine and hunger and earthquakes and natural disasters. And there will be battles, and there will be shuhada, and there will be martyrs, and yes, all of these things will happen. But ultimately we will not let you fail. Ultimately I'll be there for you. Otherwise, as I said in one of the previous lectures, Allah has to allow the free will of the people to exercise. Number two, the second implication, that through him the blessings and mercy of Allah reach us. Through this waliy khuda, through this hujjat khuda, the blessings of Allah reach us. He's the channel of grace. He's the intermediary. When Allah chooses to send something, He will send it obviously to those who are absolutely closest to Him, and then it flows down to the rest of creation. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam says, Allahumma salli Bina yunazzilul ghayth. Yunazzalul ghayth. Through us and because of us, the rainfall descends. وَتُنْشَرُ الرَّحْمَةِ, and the mercy of God is spread and it's given out. وَتَخْرُجُ بَرَكَاتُ الْأَرْضِ, because of us, the blessings of the earth come forth and come out and grow. For example, crops, etc. Why? Because we are there channeling this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this system. Thirdly, the unity and the coordination of the ummah. Have you seen the videos? Are you watching the Arba'een processions? May Allah give us a tawfiq to go inshallah for the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah. Are you watching the videos? Do you see how the people are united? Do you see how they're all together? Do you see how they're banding together? Different Zaman, different Bhasha, different language, different nationalities, different colors, but all, mashallah, in the route towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam, linked together, unified, loving one another, showing brotherhood, showing sisterhood. How? Under the banner of Aba Abdullah, under the banner of Aimma, under the banner of Sahibul Asri was Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He is the leader. When the leader is present, things are kept in order. When you have a good leader, you have things kept in order, kept together. The Battle of Uhud, you know the history. A time had come, the Muslims, as long as they remained united, as long as they remained where they were supposed to be, they were strong. They had the upper hand. They were on course for victory. Some greed crept into some of them. They left their position, and all of a sudden a satanic cry was made that the Prophet has been killed. When that satanic cry was made, the army started to crumble. Everyone running, shouting, screaming, panicking, running here, running there, looting, picking up things which they thought that they, should take with them, picking up the war booty, picking up all of these things, running around, headless chickens. As soon as the second cry was made, that no, the Holy Prophet is not martyred, he is alive, and here he is, and rally around him, they all came back together. Why? Strength of Rasulullah. Today, unity, what is keeping us together, the fabric of the community is what? It is the presence of the Imam. It is the presence of the Imam, yes. Absolutely, I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, for example, that still we have disunity. I know we have some disunities, But generally I'm speaking, in a general sense. Generally speaking, we can rally around this Wali Khuda. We can come together on the name of Imam Zaman. We can come together to celebrate and to commemorate the awliya of Allah. How does it bring us together? How does it give us strength? Wali Khuda, him being there, him being alive, him being in this world has an amazing effect. Now we go on to another slight tangent. On this same theme of Imam Zaman is alive. Hadith from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala. This hadith is mahshar. This hadith is qayamat. If you understand this hadith, many things will open for you. If you can thread the dots of this hadith together, many things will open for you, inshallah. Sixth Imam says the following: Inna Allaha yadfa'u biman yusalli min shi'atina amman la yusalli min shi'atina. Surely Allah protects, defends. Surely Allah protects and defends those from our Shias who do not pray because of those who pray. In other words, definitely, you take the whole Shia Ummah, the whole whatever it is, 350 million or whatever the number is, they're not all going to be namazis, they're not all going to be praying, are they? But because of those which do pray namaz, Allah shields and protects those who don't pray namaz. وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعُوا عَلَى تَرْكِ الصَّلَاةِ لَهَلَكُوا. Had they all chosen not to pray, had they all chosen to be without namaz totally, well, in that case they would have been destroyed. In other words, something bad would have happened to them. لَهَلَكُوا. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَيَدْفَعُ بِمَنْ يُزَكِّي مِنْ شِيعَتِنَا. Allah protects those of our Shias who don't pay zakat by those who pay zakat. And if they all chose not to pay zakat, they would have perished. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَيَدْفَعُ. And surely Allah protects those who don't perform Hajj because of those who perform Hajj. Had they all chosen to abandon Hajj and not go Hajj, they would have perished. وَهُوَ قَوْلُ اللَّهِ. And this, Imam says, is the meaning of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. If it was not for Allah defending some people because of other people, لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ. The whole earth would have corrupted and crumbled. So good mu'mineen are the reason Allah protects the not so good mu'mineen. MashaAllah, you are all good mu'mineen, I'm sure. Good hujjaj protect those who are not going for Hajj, but they should be going for Hajj. Good zakat payers are protecting those who don't pay zakat, but it's wajib upon them. Because of the goodness of the zakat payers, those who don't pay are protected. And on and on. And you can expand this more and more. That wherever there is a good mu'min doing his fara'id, doing his wajibat, doing all the things that he should do, and there's another mu'min who is not doing it, then yes, Allah, because of the barakat of some people, protects the other people. Because of the barakat of some people, He protects the other people. Now I ask you a question. If with a mere good mu'min, Allah protects other people, then what is the effect of the barakat of Imam Zaman in this world? If with a normal, good, muttaqi, neck, mu'min, Allah protects other mu'mineen because of his a'mal, other people become safe because of his namaz, his roza, his hajj, his zakat, his khums, his jihad. If that is the case, that one mu'min can protect other mu'mineen who are not as good, for example, what is the effect of having waliy khuda, waliyullah al-a'zam in the world? How many bala, how many calamities, how many things would have come to us if it wasn't for Imam Zaman? elders of the community, they are a blessing. In hadith we have that your elders protect you from the azab of Allah. Honestly, look at the world, look at society, look at the state of where we are, look at the state of some of our jamaats, look at the state of some of our families, look at the state of some of the marriages in the community, look at the state of the way people talk to one another, look at the state of some rudeness and impoliteness, how people address one another. You would think this qualifies for the azab of Allah. But because of those special people, it is averted. How much is being averted by Imam Zaman? Zakaria ibn Adam, you've heard the name, I'm sure. Zakaria ibn Adam was a close disciple of 8th Imam, Imam Ali Rida alayhi salatu wassalam. He writes to Imam Rida, he says, Zakaria ibn Adam was based in Qum. At that time, Qum is not what Qum is today. Qum today, mashallah, what a spiritual place, full of very, very amazing personalities. May Allah bless them all. Protect Qum, protect Islamic Republic of Iran, protect our ulama, inshallah. Qum, during the time of Zakaria ibn Adam, some unsuitable, let's put it in a polite way, some unsuitable people had moved to Qum. And they had spoiled their environment. They were spoiling their environment. Zakaria ibn Adam writes to Imam Rida. He says, "Oh Imam, I want your permission. May I leave Qum? Some people are here who are unsuitable. They are behaving in ways which I don't like. If you agree, if you give me permission, let me leave Qum." Imam writes to him, "La taf'al." Don't do that. Why? Because with your presence in Qum, Allah is averting, Allah is putting away, Allah is moving away His punishment from the people of Qum because of you. You are there. Because of you, Allah is averting His punishment. The same way, Allah is averting the punishment of the people of Baghdad because of my father, Imam Musa al-Kazim. Even a ma'asum who has left the world, is buried, has a grave, shrine, dari, whatever you want to call it, even he averts the adhab of Allah from the people. What Ahlul Bayt we have, what ni'mat of wilayat we have. Imams, A'imma alayhim as-salam. We don't know the half of it, Azizan Girami. We don't know the half of their position. We don't know what these people are. So when a good mu'min is able to avert the azab of Allah, imagine the effect of Imam Zaman himself. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So once again, we conclude this part of our discussion. Imam Zaman is alive in a very real, immediate sense. The proofs we have gone through, the implications and benefits we have just gone through. The important thing is that you keep him alive in your heart. He is alive. He has to be alive for you and for me. He has to be alive at all times in our minds, in our hearts, in our souls. Maybe you can think that, he's always present, he's always watching. Maybe you can think of it like this, that my a'mal are presented to him on a regular basis. Maybe you can think like this, that if I do something, then if I do something wrong, Imam will become hurt. If I do something good, it will put a smile on the face of Wali Asr. It'll put a smile on the face of Imam Zaman. Once again, we don't believe Imam is just a president or king of this world who will come and just form a secular kind of government, na'udhu billah, who will come and just have ministries and policies. No, he's much more than this. He's the bridge between Khaliq and Makhluk, creator and created, creatures and creator. He's that bridge. He's the Babullah. He's the link. He keeps us close to Allah. He keeps us safe from the adhab of Allah. He keeps the graces and mercies of Allah and blessings of Allah flowing to us. Inshallah, may Allah strengthen our belief strengthen our faith, hasten the repentance of the 12th Imam. Azizane Girami, તમે આવી રીતના આહિસ્તા અવાજથી આમીન બોલશો તો ક્યાંથી કામ આવશે? પ્લીઝ દિલો જાન, put your dilo jaan into these du'as. May Allah increase our faith. May Allah increase our barakat. May Allah give us tawfiq to be in the army of Sahibul Zaman. May Allah protect all of our Shias. May He protect all the Zawar of Arba'in. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to go for the ziyarat of Aimma alayhimus salam. Azizane Girami, we are nearing closer now to the momentous day of Arba'in. Roze Chelum, Roze Arba'in, the day of Arba'in is what? It is the day in which we re-enliven, we bring back to our memories, we bring back to life those musibats and masa'ib of Aba Abdullah and his family. We bring in front of us once again those zulms, those injustices and oppressions which were done to Janabe Zainab. We bring to our minds that journey which Imam Sajjad had to go through. At every point of the Aimma, at some point of all of the Aimma alayhimus salam, you will see they make a clear reference to Aba Abdullah. At one point, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, for example, when he walks through the bazaar, what does he do? Whenever he sees food, he cries. Whenever he sees water, he cries. Whenever he sees an animal who is going to be slaughtered, he first asks, have you given this animal any water? Or are you slaughtering this animal while it's thirsty? In the time of Imam Muhammad Baqir, he was there in Karbala. He remembers Aba Abdullah. Now let me tell you about the time of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Imam Sadiq, when the Abbasids wanted to harass him, when the Abbasids wanted to drive him out of Medina, they did a number of things. One of those things was that they set fire to the house of Imam Jafar Sadiq. When they set fire to the house of Imam Jafar Sadiq, what did he do? He was running from room to room, picking up his children, protecting his daughters, telling them where to go, carrying them into another room which was not yet on fire, transferring them one by one, making sure they were all safe. He did this. The house was on fire. Eventually the house burned. A couple of days later, he was visited by some of his Shias. His Shias looked at him. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was crying. He was weeping. They said, Mawla, why do you weep? Your family is safe. You are safe. Why do you weep? He says, when my house was on fire, I remembered the fire of the tents of my auntie Zainab. When I was transferring my daughters from room to room, when I was carrying them and I was protecting them, I remembered Sham-e Ghariban, how my auntie Zainab was running from tent to tent, protecting the children of Aba Abdullah, protecting the children of Ahlul Bayt. This is why I am crying. Allah la'natullahi al-qawmi al-zalimeen, Matame Hussain.
मज़लूम का कुनबा जब शाम को पहुँचा, आबिद का था नौहा, लो आ गया बाजार।
मज़लूम का कुनबा जब शाम को पहुँचा, आबिद का था नौहा,
अम्मा रोती है बेपर्दा,
लाखों का है मजमा, लो आ गया बाजार। मज़लूम का कुनबा जब شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
یہ سوچ کے روتا ہوں ماں بہنیں کھلے سر ہے کس طرح سے دیکھوں گا جو سامنے منظر ہے
نیزے پہ وہ ایک سر روتا ہے جو اکثر کرتا ہے جو نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
بازو ہے بندھے میرے میں کچھ نہیں کر سکتا بوچار ہے پتھر کی ہم سب ہے رسن بستہ
ہے خون کا دریا جو سر سے ہے بہتا ہنستے ہیں یہ آدھا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
ہر ایک قدم بابا قرآن سناتے ہیں اور آگ کے پتھر کو چہرے پہ وہ کھاتے ہیں
زہرا کا دلارا احمد کا نواسا ہے برسر نیزا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
پردے کا محافظ اب سر اپنا گراتا ہے خون روتا ہے وہ غازی جب بھی نظر آتا ہے
زینب کا کھلا سر اور شام کا منظر سر پہ نہیں پردہ لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
اور شمر یہ عابد سے کس فخر سے کہتا ہے پردہ تیری زینب کا نیزے سے اتارا ہے
قوت ہے یہ میری احمد کی نواسی کو شام میں لایا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
وہ ننھی سکینہ کو مانگا ہے کنیزی میں مرتا ہوں جیتے جی ماحول شرابی ہے
گھبراتی ہے بچی اور ہو کے میں بھائی کچھ کر نہیں سکتا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار
موت آئے گی زندہ سکینہ کی
وہ خون بھرا کرتا اور ایک تماچا، یہ اس کو ہے سہنا، لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ، جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ، لو آ گیا بازار۔
جس بی بی کو سورج نے ہرگز نہیں دیکھا تھا، بے پردہ کھڑی تھی وہ، شیطانوں کا مجمع تھا،
چہرے کو تجالی بالوں سے چھپائی، پڑھتی رہی خطبہ، لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ، جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ، لو آ گیا بازار۔
میری پھوپھی اماں روتی ہے بے پردہ،
لاکھوں کا ہے مجمع، لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ، جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ، لو آ گیا بازار۔
الفاتحہ۔
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ ایک یوان بائی لندن کھاتے بیمار چھے ریکویسٹ کریس کہ آپ 5 پھیرے اما یجیو بھی ورد کرے اینی شفا واسطے انے بدائی مریضونی شفا واسطے۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ اما یجیب المضطر اذا دعاہ ویکشف السوء۔ دعاه ويكشف السوء۔ اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد۔ توجہ زیارت۔
السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیک یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا فاطمۃ الزہراء سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیک یا حسن المصطفیٰ، السلام علیک یا ابا عبداللہ وعلی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک، علیکم منی جمیعا سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت وبقی اللیل والنہار ولا جعل اللہ الآخر احد منی لزیارتکم۔ السلام علی الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلی اولاد الحسین وعلی اصحاب الحسین جمیعا ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ السلام علیک یا مولا ابن مولا، السلام علیک یا غریب القرباء سلطان ابا الحسن علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا، کن شفیعنا و شفیع والدینا فی یوم الجزاء، وعلی اختک فاطمۃ المعصومہ جمیعا ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ السلام علیک یا مولانا یا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام علیک یا خلیفۃ الرحمن، السلام علیک یا شریک القرآن، السلام علیک یا کعبۃ الایمان، السلام علیک یا امام الانس والجان، عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسہل اللہ تعالی مخرجک